Greetings, life forms, wherever you're receiving us. This is Justin, and this is the Nerd News Cafe Avengers Infinity War Review, Part 2. Thanks for coming back. I hope you're enjoying what you're hearing so far. If you want to get involved in the conversation, you can do that at Twitter, at nerd_news_cafe, or email us at nerdnewscafe@gmail.com. For now, let's get back into the conversation. Here are the Knuckleheads.
Well, some of the good stuff, and I mean, I don't actually have this on here, but you brought it up, is where Peter meets Quill, and they're kind of bouncing back a little bit of pop, culture stuff. Yeah.
I was like, dance off like Footloose. Footloose isn't, Footloose is Footloose still the greatest movie ever made? No, because it was never the greatest movie ever made. And then Stark's like, no, do not encourage him. Just so great. Like I love the fact that Tony Stark had to play the space dad, and it was so cool, especially with the way we're introduced to him in this movie, where he and Pepper are talking about how Tony wants to be a dad now, and we'll talk about it later on in the movie. He almost sees his like worst case scenario happen right before his eyes, because it's like Tony Stark did not conceive Peter Parker, but Iron Man is so Spider-Man's Marvel Cinematic Universe daddy.
Yeah, for sure.
I was about to say, and just watching him kind of, you need to stay home, just constantly, and he can't convey it. Yeah,
I thought about it. It's like, no, do not tell me you thought this through. You did not think this through. Like, it was so good. Like you talk about how Chris Hemsworth was really like forefront in the center of this movie. It's like, obviously we knew Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr. was going to be, a very prominent player. I think RDJ brought some of his best work to this movie, because it's like, even I just mentioned the scene we're first introduced to him with Pepper. It's like, I don't think we've seen that side of Tony, like a very hopeful, optimistic, I'm ready to actually, think about the future, Tony Stark. And then like hard cut to him being like, oh God, here we go again. And even mixed in with like, scenes of him like, hey, Bruce, good to see you. Like, so the green guy got to come out. Come on. I'll buy you some time. And it's like, I thought like we see so much from Robert Downey Jr. in this movie. It's like, we knew he was going to bring it anyway, because he always does, but holy smokes, tip of the cap to RDJ.
Seriously. Yeah. I agree with that.
I'm glad we got Pepper too.
Yeah.
That was a nice surprise, because when was the last time we saw Pepper? Was it Iron Man 3? Because I know she set out Age of Ultron. She set out Civil War. She wouldn't have any other reason to pop up. So she was a scene in Homecoming, right? That's right. Yeah. Okay. Good call. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. I don't know. I felt like Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark and Chris Hemsworth as Thor, they really carried this movie, I would say, like both of them did. But I mean, and Captain America, when he was there, he was doing his part as well. They didn't.
I was going to say that Chris was definitely carrying his weight.
I liked Field General Chris Evans.
Yeah, I did too.
Because he wasn't the whole movie. It wasn't about him, but he was definitely taking charge, showing who Captain America really is. To me, he's always been that general. Mm-hmm. It's like, this is what we do, accomplish it.
And then leads the soldiers onto the field,
Exactly. Yeah, he's first in the line, in the mess of it, in the thick of it, still handing out orders, still trying to make adjustments on the field. I really enjoyed that Captain America.
I was disappointed.
In some case, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I was disappointed Black Widow didn't get more, because I feel like she was almost kind of put in the background, and they gave her a couple throwaway lines. But
we did get a good battle with her.
Yeah.
Wakanda, we did get to see quite a bit of her. And I think this is and we can hold guesses off to the end, but one of the ones is like more screen time we're going to see for her later. So
it could be.
I mean, possibly, but like, I mean, even going back to the way that Widow was introduced to this movie with Cap and his Secret Avengers, it's like you say you feel like she just got some, add-in lines, and it was kind of, she was in the background. Like, she was the one that really led that assault when we're reintroduced to the Secret Avengers in that, scene where they come and save the day for Scarlet Witch and Vision. I mean, Cap is the tank in this scenario, but Black Widow is the DPS that's coming. I mean, she kills, Stabby McStabface that we don't remember the name of. So I mean, like she definitely got her action in there. I do want to point that out.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that she didn't play a part. Yeah. I'm just saying from a like she didn't get to factor into any of the, like, we didn't get to see the charisma side of her, or the, like, there wasn't a lot of dialogue there for her.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I would like to have seen more. I mean, and granted, we still got a part 2, guys, and we'll probably see it, I think. But we didn't get a whole lot of her reuniting with, the Hulk and Ruffalo,
That's true.
Yeah,
And
Banner. We only
Banner, no Banner, kind of welcome home.
Yeah, that's true.
because I mean, like I mentioned earlier, Banner was been off world for 2 years. They had no idea where the hell Bruce Banner was. It's like, oh, hey, what's up? I'm back. Also, Hell's coming with me. So like I do hope we do get to see some payoff of that in Avengers 4, whatever they end up calling it.
Can I say this? I think that once the on-world superheroes were made aware of Thanos and the approaching storm, I feel like everything that happened after that point, every decision they made, they basically were collecting the Infinity Stones and bringing them to him. And it was kind of like when something's going to happen, everything you do is basically going to cause that thing to happen. Like that's I got that feeling watching the movie. I'm like, why are they rounding everybody up? Why do they need to get everybody together so it's easier for him to find the people that have the stones? Like, and then I get that, like, well, there's strength in numbers. We need to get together. We can protect each other, but not from Thanos. So that was something I thought about too. I want to say people have made a villain out of Peter Quill in this movie.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Basically saying that it was his fault that all of this ended up happening because he let his emotions take over when he found out about the sacrifice of Gamora, when he basically was being a hypocrite because he held Drax back when Drax wanted to just release bloody vengeance on Thanos when he saw him when they met in the collector's area. So the thing about it is, I feel like, again, I think that was part of what had to happen. When Doctor Strange came back and he said he saw 14 million different scenarios and there was only one in which they won.
Exactly.
And then people said
we all landed on the same conclusion.
Yeah, and then people said, well, why did he suddenly just hand over the Infinity Stone? My opinion,
when he explicitly said he wasn't going to
earlier. My opinion was the 1 in 14 million he saw showed him that Thanos got all the stones, but they still prevailed anyway.
Yep,
they prevailed in a way, and it obviously needed Stark.
Yeah.
Yep, and I mean, hell, it seems like we're barreling into the movie. Do we want to go ahead and let's talk about the blink? It's like, I've also seen the theory. It's like, okay, before we get into the theories of where the snap is going to happen, holy like, can we first talk about that? Because, like, okay, be honest with me, because, like, y'all know I'm very honest when it comes to this type of stuff. Did y'all get emotional when this was going down?
I want Matt to answer first.
No. Because he had already showed us how it could be fixed.
Exactly. That I had the same exact feeling, because basically, yes, I get it. I understand the stakes. I get what's happening, but you have showed us that with the time stone, all of this can be fixed. So that's what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, okay, I mean, it sucks that this is happening, and I get in the moment that this is emotional for all these characters, but at the same time, they can fix it. So you basically, because you introduced that time reversal with Vision, have taken the stakes away at this point. That's what I felt like.
That's all well and good, but who's going to reverse it? Because after the snap, other than Rocket Raccoon and War Machine, the only heroes that are left standing are the original Avengers. Everybody else is gone. Like, the Guardians are gone, unless it's just Rocket Raccoon is the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like no more Black Panther, no more Spider-Man, hell, no more Doctor Strange. Like, Strange is gone. Strange is off the map.
But so there's one Marvel person who can hold a stone, actually hold one.
Well, yes, and she, I think, is coming after.
Not her. You're close. I looked it up just to make sure I was right. I looked it up earlier when I was making these notes.
What are you talking, Warlock? Because Warlock isn't
No, he's
happening.
actually I did, and that saddens me. All his lines and parts are given to Strange. He's not in this.
But
Yeah.
you know what? Like, I don't necessarily think that's a bad decision because it's like
I was disappointed, but
like we talked about, we thought this was the best that Strange has been presented, and I think part of the reason, like, obviously he gets to play off much better characters than we've seen him prior, but I really feel like part of the reason this is the best we've seen Strange is it's not all LSD trip for 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
It's we get 30 to 45 seconds of Strange coming in and doing his things where he gets all the reality's closing in around Thanos and he's projected himself a billion times.
That
And
was
we're
cool.
getting that in that was such a cool
That was
sequence.
really cool.
Like when Strange went full like Sorcerer Supreme, I thought that was such an amazing sequence. But I think Marvel is smart. They're keeping it to 30 to 60 seconds a pop, where if they had Strange and some mythical space wizard and Adam Warlock, it'd be like, okay, maybe there's a little bit too much mysticism bullshit going on. And plus, honestly, at this point, I really feel like if they introduced Adam Warlock, that would just be like straight up Deus Ex Machina stuff, because we've only had a teasing of what we assume is Adam Warlock in the cocoon. And it's like, we're already gonna, like, I feel like we're already gonna get a little bit of Deus Ex Machina stuff when Captain Marvel shows up in Infinity Wars 2 or whatever they end up calling it. But I'm willing to let that go because I know how big they want to make Brie Larson's Carol Danvers and the next phase of Marvel movies. But it's like, I'll give them one Deus Ex Machina mechanic. I'm not going to give them two, and I feel like Adam Warlock would be a second one of those.
So who is it that can hold it?
Captain America.
Ah, okay. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, Captain America can. Bruce Banner can, and Tony Stark can, but I don't know what it does to him, and I doubt that they would give them the power to do that. I just see, we know Chris Evans' contract is up, which is kind of the meta game of it here. And
yeah, and does that kind of take
you see where I'm kind of going with this?
Yeah, I mean, like I was say, how long have I been saying it? I think Cap dies in Infinity Wars. It's
no,
like,
I totally believe you.
I might be one movie off, but it's like, does that kind of take away from y'all's enjoyment knowing the contract? And like you described it perfectly, is the metagame, the Hollywood metagame.
I'm not upset about it. I'm okay with it.
Okay, well, all right. Well, let me ask you a follow-up question, because I've seen this sentiment on the internet a lot. Like, a lot of the deaths when Thanos snaps and achieves his goal, we already know we're getting another Black Panther movie because that thing made all the money in the damn world. Mm-hmm. We already know we're getting another Guardians movie because that's a $1 billion franchise. We know we're getting another Homecoming movie from Spider-Man. So we know they're coming back in.
Yep. That affects my my reaction to what happened, because like I said, I know all of this is going to get reversed.
Right, and I was the same way. But I'll throw something that might make you grin a little bit more. As far as the Infinity Gauntlet, do you know one other person that we haven't seen besides Adam Warlock that could hold the power?
Wolverine?
Negative.
Oh, I don't know.
And this is just from the comics. I don't know that they'll bleed it over, but it's definitely nice to know. Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
has held the gauntlet before.
You mean that one thing I've been saying is going to happen at the end of two?
And that's what I was saying. I kind of want to believe in your conspiracy. I didn't.
Man, I'm gonna be so pissed at myself. Smash cut to me next, maybe like, son of a
if
bitch,
you nailed
I
it.
ruined it for myself.
No, that would be the best thing ever. If I were you, I'd take a victory lap around the theater.
Yeah, right there in the theater opening night. Be like, I told all y'all suckers, but none of y'all listened.
Give them the double birds. Give the theater the double birds, and just be like, I nailed it, bitches.
I'm out. And then I'd walk out
and fan from Regal.
Exactly. Yeah. Well. Fortunately, we're an AMC chain out here, so
I'm okay with AMC. Go see it on Tuesdays. It's $5.
Yeah.
There you go.
But we've been talking about the Infinity Stones. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna use a land. And speaking of, is Waterworld to live in. when we can see the reality of what these stones can do
Yes.
in a movie setting. I was blown away every time with the use of them.
Yeah.
Every time. Even the weapons turning into bubbles was hilarious.
Yep. And like Jay pointed out, one of my critiques after you think about it, it's like, well, we do know, Chadwick Boseman signed on for 5 movies, so he's definitely going to be back. So that does kind of take out, some of the gravitas, but like in the moment, like that was, I would liken it to Avengers, the original Avengers, seeing it for the first time, that, oh my God, they got this right feeling. Like they continue to get it right. Oh my God, we're like 2 hours into this movie, and son of a bitch, it's still right. That is what I'm taking away from this movie.
I'm totally with you. I'm totally with you on that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Do you guys? One of my questions I want to jump to. Do you think the Collector's dead?
Oh yeah, Collector's dead.
You think so?
I think he is. Yeah.
I just thought it was weird that he waved at them as the reality was bleeding away.
Because Thanos is that big of a dick.
It was a slap in the face. Yeah.
You're right. He truly is.
Yeah. But yeah, Landon, I was thinking that too, and that has been one of my biggest reviews. Like when I talk to people about this movie without being spoilery, is to say they've had 10 years to build up to what they're doing right now. There was so much writing on this, and we talked about it when we did the brackets of the Marvel movies that have already come out up to this point, that Avengers won our bracket because it was the culmination of everything that had led up to that, and they nailed it. This one, they knocked it out of the park. Like it was really, sure, we've got our critiques of it, as we would because of any movie because we're nerds, but
yes, we are nerds.
But this wasn't like a solid like double up the middle. This wasn't a ground rule double. They hit a grand slam home run with this movie. They nailed it. It was great. It was great. The music, the way they pulled off the action, it was fun to watch. That battle on Titan was amazing.
Oh God.
The best battle of the movie. I know Wakanda was supposed to be it, but no, that battle. Dude, he threw whole space stations and just smashed people.
If
and
you
I'm
throw
like,
another moon at me, I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah, I mean,
And then,
I was emotional during that because at that point the stakes were real to me.
Yeah,
I don't know
And then,
why at that point, but they were.
And I've made this analogy on this podcast before. It's all your favorite toys playing with each other, and you're smashing them into each other. And like those are some of the highest of highs in that movie. I mean, like when Star-Lord comes tearing ass, doing his jump, and then he's running out of real estate. So Doctor Strange is throwing up platforms for him to bounce off of, where he does the sticky or the C4 to the back of Thanos's neck, throws him a bird, drops through a portal, boom, explosion. Then here comes Spider-Man, magic. More magic. Magic with a kick. It's like, that is Spider-Man. That is my Peter Parker.
Yeah.
That right there. Sorry, edit.
No, it's totally there.
Peter Parker was, by the way, Tom Holland,
killing it.
Yeah, he's nailing it.
Give him all the money in the universe to be Spider-Man for the rest of his life.
I was gonna say he should be Peter Parker forever because he's perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is our new Hugh Jackman of the MCU.
That's
currently.
great. Yes, that is the best analogy anybody's made on this stupid podcast. like
I'm glad
Tom
I can
Holland
contribute.
is like kissy emoji, mwah, that thing. Like it works way,
that
it's way
the
better.
Best thing that's been said on this podcast.
No, I'm with you. I think, everything about. By the way, the Iron Spider suit was freaking amazing.
Crazy.
That was such a great
It kind
moment.
of gave me some chills, though. I didn't like it. I was like, ugh.
And it's interesting because the Iron Spider suit is a very divisive topic when it comes to its actual comic life.
Mm-hmm.
But I really feel like everybody that saw the movie is like, okay, that was awesome.
We're on
That
board.
was cool.
Yeah, it
Yes,
really
absolutely.
was.
Well, and I just, for whatever reason, when it first popped out there, I was like, oh man, is that a Doc Ock reference? And, because I didn't knew he had that suit, but I was like, we've got the technology to make Doc Ock even better.
Well, technically the Iron Suit was before Superior Spider-Man, but you know what? If we want to introduce a Superior Spider-Man movie, let's do it.
Yeah.
Nobody will go see that. Be like, why is
You're all
Peter
for it, it's
Parker so mean now? And why does he have a German accent in his head?
So you want to talk about let's go back to the snap for just a minute because it's been the subject of a great deal of memes ever since the movie came out.
Yep.
At this point, it's every meme is about the snap.
I think Facebook actually has one of those temporary profile pictures where you can be dusted.
I don't believe. I do believe you actually. It seems pretty likely.
Like, why would you not believe that? Of all the shit I say on this podcast, that's what you question?
Yeah. But here's what I want to say, because I feel like it was a double-edged sword, because I think what they wanted to do was they wanted to milk every bit of the emotion of Scarlet Witch basically destroying the stone and destroying Vision. They wanted to get that moment, but they also wanted to have the tragedy of Thanos bringing him back and killing him, because you have the ultimate sacrifice. You've got the ultimate sacrifice, like an honorable death, and then just to have that totally erased. But but because they did it that way, and I'll say this, the non-snap deaths had carried more weight to me than the snap deaths.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, very much so.
I'll agree with that.
I will say probably the biggest death to me was Loki.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I don't think Loki's coming back.
No, there's parts of me that says he can, because God knows who he really killed.
Right.
Because he did trick him. I mean, he was able to, hide things.
He thought he tricked him.
He thought he did. And
see, that's the thing. It's like I don't think Thanos was buying his shtick for 1 second.
No,
I don't
not
think
one
so.
moment. Not the whole "I pledge my allegiance" crap. But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like his powers may be able to step aside from what Thanos can really need. But the thing about Thanos is perfect poker face all the time, every time.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
I mean, he knew what was going on.
Yeah. I just think, I don't know. What my point with saying that about what went on with Scarlet Witch and Vision was that if they basically they could have chosen to get the emotion and the weight out of that moment, or if they hadn't done it that way, they could have stopped her before she was able to take out Vision, which takes away the honorable sacrifice and all that, and that emotion of the moment. And then let Thanos just straight up kill him. But then all of a sudden, you haven't introduced the whole time element of reversing time, which as soon as they did that, just like you, I had the same feeling of, well, everything that happens from here on can be reversed.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. I felt like everything, like you said, up to that point could be permanent. And from the Vision standpoint, and let me say, that's another thing that, them showing that turning back time the way they did, beautiful.
It was awesome.
It
was really cool.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, I am loving 2018 right now.
Yeah.
For the movie factor.
You want to talk about? Well, you're absolutely right about that. Like it's just amazing what they can do visually now. It's amazing what they can do. If I want to break down the different.
Hold on, real quick. Talking about visuals.
Yep.
Thanos, to when we were first introduced to him, to the Josh Brolin Thanos we got. Like, have y'all gone back and seen what was presented at the very end of the Avengers, or the first Avengers movie? Wow.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Like, technology is amazing.
Yeah. I lost myself in him sometimes. Like, I just completely not like, oh, I lost myself. I
lost myself
in his eyes.
Lost myself in him.
Ball section.
Right, which Quill pointed out.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just like, oh, this guy is CGI.
Yeah.
Or his head really is that huge when Mantis was on top of him trying to get him to sleep. I was like, oh, good Lord, he's got a gourd on his freaking shoulders.
It's true.
Or when he was giving Gamora that bowl of soup, but it looked like he was holding a thimble. But Gamora she's holding it with both hands.
I think that
the
gave
scale
me,
they were able to pull it off. Like,
that gave me that exactly what you're talking about right there. Handing her the bowl of soup gave me the biggest sense of scale. Like
this guy's a giant son bitch.
Yeah, because it looked so tiny. It looked like he was handing her a thimble, but then she had to hold it in two hands, and it was like a normal bowl of soup. Yeah, but what I was saying was, if we want to talk about those that were casualties of the snap, I think there's probably two of those deaths that were that if I was going to say they were the most emotional, because I'll tell you this, I'm a sappy, sensitive dude. This movie did not make me cry one time. So I will say that. Not once. Not even once.
Okay, I'm right there with you, but I think it's for a different reason. I'll tell it at the end. Go ahead.
Okay. But if I had to pick which one of the snap deaths were most emotional, Groot was tough. Because here Rocket tried to, he already tried to save him once. And I understand it's like son of Groot. It's not really Groot. We get that.
Thanks, James Gunn.
I know. But watching his best friend again die right in front of his eyes, that was tough. That was tough, but still didn't get me. And then, of course, Peter Parker. That was the heartbreaker.
I don't want to go, Mr. Stark.
Yeah. Which, by the way,
sorry.
By the way,
why did his take so long?
Doctor Who reference, but anyway.
I think the reason his took so long is
because he had so many lines.
No, his spider sense told him something's wrong because he was the last one. I think even past Strange was the one. He was the last one to dust himself on Titan, but because of his spider sense, he knew it was happening to him. He was cognizant the entire time.
Let me give you this too. I'll tell you another reason. I'll tell you another reason why the.
Hold on, I need a minute.
Okay, while you're recovering, another reason why the dusted individuals didn't have that big of an effect on me, especially at the end, was because the way they handled the post-credit scene with Sam Jackson sending a text message to Captain Marvel.
Oh,
the way that he did, because I got the sense of he knew what was happening. And if he could get this message off, it was going to be fine. That's the sense that I got from that.
But I mean, yeah, that's Nick Fury. Period. He's the man that has a contingency plan for plans that nobody's even thought of.
And then, of course,
I just didn't care for that end scene.
I liked it.
I was like, I waited the entire credits for this.
I liked it. Because I like the Captain Marvel reference. I'm excited about that.
No. I like the
Captain
Marvel reference. I was just like, I don't know. It could have been done better.
Part of me was hoping halfway through, like we've talked about how Marvel has trained us for 18 movies to sit like good boys and girls and wait through the end. Part of me was kind of hoping this was going to be the one movie where everybody is literally on the edge of their seat begging for more and there's nothing.
They said they were going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And
really?
I don't know. He answered these questions to a high school in Iowa. For whatever reason, but he said that he almost didn't put a scene up, but he knew that he would be, I think he said crucified or something of that nature if he didn't. And also, he had to convey who was coming.
Mm-hmm.
I get that, and from a storytelling standpoint and from a movie studio standpoint, I get that. But okay, like, what if the movie ended after Thanos snapped? And the remaining heroes are looking around, and it ends when Captain America drops to his knees and utters, "Oh God," and just goes to black.
Yeah.
What if it ends right there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, or better yet, what if that post credits or that the scene we see of Thanos doing exactly what he said he was going to do? By the way, watch the sunrise on a grateful universe. What if that was the post-credit sequence?
Where do you think he is?
And see, that's a great question.
I wondered that too.
I think I know where I think he is.
I wondered that too. I don't know. Like, to me, I thought that was some sort of a almost like a alternate dimension or something
in between realities.
Yeah.
No, I tell you where I think he is. I think he's on Gamora's home planet because he said it's a paradise now.
I hadn't thought of that. That's a great idea.
Because of what he did,
yeah,
he gets to see, it's been long enough, he gets to see the fruits of his labor. This place is a paradise. It's a thriving world.
Yeah, pat on the back to me. Look what I did.
Exactly. Oh, stroking the ego, buddy. So
I mean, he called his shot. He said, "I'm going to do exactly this after I do this," and son of a bitch, he was right.
Yeah,
like, he Babe Ruth that ball.
Would it be crazy to say that Thanos was the star of this movie and the Avengers and all the heroes were the antagonists to Thanos's
trying to be the foil
role?
Well, I mean, if you look at from a certain point of view, if I can quote Obi-Wan Kenobi, yes, I think that's true.
But I mean, Thanos was kind of the star of the movie. I mean, it opens with him, it closes with him, and he is in most of the important movies or moments of the movie.
Yeah.
One of the, I don't know, one of the things I did like is they did show us his home planet. He was able to use the Reality Stone to kind of give what his world was. Which I thought was pretty cool. I was like, okay, so you didn't come from some war-torn, crazy hodgepodge where you're surviving every day of your life. You came from a well-to-do world, and evidently he was somebody of note.
Yeah, because and I think that really helped build the character of Thanos and give him, some layers. Like you said, he was obviously in a position where the decision makers would at least listen to what he said. But when he suggested genocide, I mean, genocide's going to go over like a fart in church, or it's going to go over like genocide because it's genocide. Yeah. And I did think it was kind of nice. We got to see a glimpse of this world, and like you said, he didn't come from some war-scaped hellhole. He came from what looked like a civilized society that was doing pretty good for themselves. So it gave his character a little bit more gravitas. When you hear him say, it's like, I truly believe that half the universe would be better off without the other half, and you believe that in him.
Here's one of the things that took away from his character, and it's probably the only thing I can say that did. And I know it has to be related to us, the viewer, but every time he talked about time and reference to people, it was all Earth terms. He says man, he says years, he says days, and it's like...
That's interesting.
Maybe that's too cerebral.
No, that's
what we're doing here.
No, you're right.
I was like, these are concepts of Earth.
Right.
These are not concepts of a being that is universal, that has lived the universe.
Interesting.
And I was like, he keeps saying years, and I'm like, I don't know.
What does a year mean to Thanos?
It brought me away a couple times.
Yeah.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like, Thanos knows, like, 2 Infinity Stones are on Earth. I mean, the fact that a third of the stones just from the word go are on Earth. And I mean, Earth has been a very pivotal planet in that universe. So it was and also Thanos might realize, like, if he talks about, different types of, I'm trying to think, like, Asgardian
time or something.
Time measures, outside of Thor, it's going to be lost on everybody.
He was talking to Gamora. I mean, this was a speech between him and Gamora. There's no reason to use Earth.
He really should have been speaking in parsecs. Let's be honest.
Parsecs. Well, just say, as this universe grows older, or as I've seen.
Metrics is for get the F out.
If I've seen the meters strewn out, no. If he said, as I've seen stars come and go, I don't know. The speech could have been turned a lot more. But like I said, I know who this audience is. I'm a part of this audience, so I understand it. I don't know. I was taken away a couple times with it. I was like, oh, that. No,
I mean,
you don't live on Earth.
I get why you're saying that. Like,
it's stupid.
Like,
I know. It's
a little nitpicky, but at the same time, like
is.
Jay said, we're a bunch of Dorcases with a podcast. That's what we do. We nitpick. We're nitpicking Dorcases, but at the same time, you also have to remember there are people in the audience that the last time they saw the Avengers was when they saved New York, and that was 6 years ago. So if they start speaking in vague amounts of time, they're gonna be like, what's going on? Who's that? Why is this happening? Or better, why is Gamora?
Why is Gamora?
Why is Gamora? I need that shirt.
God, Dave Bautista is hilarious.
Why is Gamora? I did like you brought up New York Attack. Did you notice that we got to see those same that same type of army?
Yeah, in the flashback of Gamora's.
Yeah, in the flashback of Gamora's world, I was like, I see what you did here.
Cool.
It's like, do you remember these nasties?
On the first viewing, I'm like, wait, what's going on? Why are these guys back? Because originally it didn't click with me. Oh, this is a flashback. So that might be one of those things that made it a little bit easier on the second viewing. But yeah, I did like the fact that it was those original bad guys that showed up in New York. I thought that was cool. Yeah. And the fact that even in that opening credit, they acknowledge Loki's experience on Earth. It's like, what? Your experience losing? 'Cause
Yeah,
it's like, yeah,
makes
it
all
ties
sense
up
now.
back. And,
Yeah.
and heck, even Stark says, it's like, you remember Loki? Thanos sent him.
It's heavy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it totally makes sense. It's the full circle here. Remember that army that attacked New York? That's the same army they use every time. It's the same thing they do every time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nothing new. It wasn't like Earth was special at all. It took away that whole thing. Loki was just a messenger, and this was the message.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And you got to have an opinion on this. When they said that Hawkeye and Ant-Man were on house arrest, well, you're not like, are you kidding me?
So this is funny because we had to, while we were waiting on the post-credit scene, we were having a conversation about this in the theater because I assumed that Ant-Man and the Wasp, from a continuity perspective, was going to happen after Infinity War, and I was like, but that just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, how would you really care about some Ant-Man and Wasp caper story when half of all of existence got blinked out?
Yeah, exactly. So and then Samantha corrected me and said, I think it happens before. And so
does it happen before?
So
Yes.
actually I Googled it, and
I had to look that up myself.
I looked it up, and actually it's kind of funny. If you go out, there's a video of all of the stars from Infinity War talking about where are Ant-Man and the Wasp during Infinity War, and it's kind of funny. They're like, well, they're really small. They're probably there somewhere.
Much like John Cena in Justice League, we just couldn't see them.
Couldn't see them. Yeah, but actually, from a chronologically speaking standpoint, the Ant-Man and the Wasp story is supposed to occur before Infinity War, which doesn't make any sense. Why did they do it that way? Like, they should have.
They're on house arrest or something. That was the one line
they took
we
a
got.
deal.
Yeah, they took a deal with the government.
They should have.
I understand why Hawkeye took the deal. That makes sense to me. It
He has like 17 kids.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's married to Linda Carradine, which I'm okay
which makes
with.
sense because after the snap, you can bet who disappeared, and it wasn't him. So
Yeah, it's going to be all 17 of his kids, and he's pissed.
Or
he's
relieved.
happy because now the bills just got lower. But
Good
he's
Lord,
really,
I'm the
really
one- I'm
sad.
without the kids.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, every parent for a millisecond goes, "What would my life?" No, that's a bad thought. That's a bad thought.
For
That's
one millisecond, they're picturing themselves driving in a red Corvette with money flying out the back.
That's a Rick and Morty episode, actually.
Yeah, right, Morty. We're gonna get another red Corvette.
But anyway,
Princess.
they from a
I don't know. I didn't care
storytelling
for it either.
standpoint, like, I just don't
Um,
understand. Yeah.
We're all going to be looking for it at the end of that movie. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. This is where it starts.
Mhm.
And I guess that would explain why neither Paul Rudd or Jeremy Renner are on the poster for Infinity Wars. Because if you remember leading up to it, that was kind of a big hullabaloo because a lot of Hawkeye fans think he's been jobbed out in the Avenger movies. And, well, he wasn't even in this movie to be jobbed out.
He didn't show up.
Yeah, exactly.
He's busy. He's busy riding the bench on my fantasy football team, actually.
Yeah, trying to troll my ass.
I had one more thing, and it's on the good list.
Okay.
We kind of covered all the bad stuff. But on the good list, did you guys get excited when you saw Red Skull?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like I
did.
marked the hell out. Like I mentioned it earlier. There were audible gasps and cheers and sobbing in my first screening viewing. I was the guy that flew, yes, when the Red Skull showed up because that is
said thank you.
That is something that has been forgotten for the last 7 years. And oh, by the way, he's one of Marvel's most well-known, iconic villains.
Right.
But it's not the same actor. So
No, of course it ain't Hugo Weaving.
No, because he said he'd never do it again.
Yeah, Hugo Weaving hated makeup.
That's all right.
Yeah, which sucks. But the new guy, and I can't remember what he'd been in, but he's done a lot of good things. So I kind of want to see if we expand on that. We probably won't, but I'd like to see it.
I mean, who knows what happens after reality?
You're talking about Roz Marquand.
Reset.
Roz Marquand is the guy that played Red Skull, and you would know him from The Walking Dead as Aaron.
Yes.
Which one is Aaron? I'm like 3 seasons behind.
Oh, Justin, how are you going to answer this?
Oh, I don't watch The Walking Dead anymore, so I can't answer that question. I just know
that was the scout for the Andersonville community.
Wait, was Aaron the professor?
Him and his
mullet?
boyfriend. His boyfriend just got shot. He is not.
I call him Professor Mullet. No, I call him
Professor Mullet.
Okay.
You are talking crap. What is Eugene?
Yeah, that's right. And
He's a real piece of crap right now.
wait, was he the army guy that looked like James Hetfield, and I called him Commander Hetfield?
It was not Sergeant Slaughter ripoff.
No, his name is Commander Hetfield.
Commander Hatfield is
not.
He is not playing that guitar anymore. He has his day.
hold on.
They will be unforgiven for the people that murdered Commander Hetfield.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan, spoiler alert, puts the bat to skull.
Let me just give everybody
Ian
out
and
there.
Sam's dad.
Yes.
We're gonna cross all the streams here.
Let me give everybody out there a recommendation. If you want to entertain yourself for a good 10, 15 minutes, go to YouTube and look up Roz Marquand micro impressions, because he is a man who can do. He's no Frank Caliendo, I'll just say, but he can do a ton of.
Suck.
He can do.
Really?
Actually, he's better than Frank Caliendo. He can do a lot of really good impressions.
How do you spell his name?
It's
Yeah.
ROSS
ROSS.
MARQUAND.
Aha, I found him.
It's
Micro impressions.
Ross Mannequin.
Yeah, Marquand micro impressions. Look him up. His micro impressions are hilarious. Each one lasts maybe 5 to 10 seconds, but he nails them, every one of them. So there you go.
Well, back to what we really care about.
Okay,
Which is the MCU. I think he was a great Red Skull.
he was. He
So-
was good.
Like
I thought it was-
I'm just happy that the Red Skull is A,
Absolutely.
being acknowledged, and B, might be back.
So
Because again, after reality resets itself, who knows what it's going to look like,
who gets let loose? How far back do we go?
and just how important is the Fantastic Four going to be in that reality?
Exactly. Which they
Like,
have time to cast him.
Absolutely. And Hugh Jackman, I swear to God, you have to be Wolverine at least one time.
Just in the background, just for a minute, just so we can see you.
Just share a screen with Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans.
It's blurry for all I care.
Like literally just have those three on the screen, look at the camera, nod, and be like, all right, cool, we got it. Thanks, guys.
Got it.
And cut.
And
Yep, sweet.
so
All right, give me my $860,000.
I have some questions.
All right, questions.
Some of those we've already answered with Adam Warlock and the permanent deaths. Do we think Loki, Gamora, and Vision will be permanent deaths?
Heimdall, shout out to Heimdall.
Heimdall, I think he'll be a permanent death.
Yeah, Heimdall's gone.
yeah, I
Like
think
Idris
so.
Elba, like Idris Elba's way too good to be a bit part of the
Absolutely.
Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Absolutely, totally agree. I loved him. Thought he was great in Ragnarok.
Like,
but
can y'all recast
absolutely.
him as somebody like
Anybody.
Blacker Panther?
Blade.
Wait, no,
Oh,
He could come back as Blade.
I'm okay with that. Yeah,
That would be
that's
cool.
way less
Grizzled
racist.
Blade?
I'm okay with-
Chris Christopherson's still alive?
How is that? Are we sure?
I don't know.
Hold
It's
on.
2018.
Christopher.
Help him with the Christopher thing.
No, Google got me. It's cool.
Gotcha. So, two things. And I know this, you guys should both probably know the
He is
Watchers.
still alive. Sweet.
The Watchers and the Living Tribunal are huge, huge parts of the Infinity
Mhm.
story, comic wise.
Mhm.
We've seen the Watchers, sorta.
Kind of.
Mm.
What we think is the
What
Watcher.
we think is, I think that is the Watchers. They obviously look like them.
Stanley is totally a Watcher.
And that makes sense with him on the bus, by the way.
Mhm.
So,
haven't y'all kids seen a spaceship I made Spider-Man?
Exactly. He just didn't care. He's like, I'm a Watcher. I don't care. So, and then the Living Tribunal is never spoken of, talked about, but that doesn't mean they can't introduce it. But those are the people who kind of watch over these stones and take care of these stones later on, except for the Illuminati who get it later, but I doubt we'll get into that.
Yeah, I doubt Jay-Z and Beyonce is going to be introduced.
You know
you're
what?
talking about the Marvel.
Well, we did see
Illuminati.
Illuminati Taco Bell commercial before the movie, so possible.
Oh my god.
Oh my God! And as you said that, one came on the TV in the background.
Oh,
Jay-Z and Beyonce
everywhere.
are listening. You crazy
that
for
goes
this
back
one,
to-
Hove?
That goes back to Justin's Google theory that it's always listening to you.
It is.
That's not a
But-
theory. That's fact.
Do you think that they're going to introduce these characters, or this is going to be the Dos Ex Machina that kind of comes in and straightens the ship out, even after it's reversed. Because I think the reversal is going to be by who we currently have somehow, some way.
Yeah.
But do you think that these characters are going to kind of come in and slap some kids' hands and go, "You're not ready to play with"?
I think that's probably how the next movie's going to wrap up, in my opinion. Maybe even post credit.
Like, I could see them maybe introducing the Watcher, especially if Lal Stan Lee is a Watcher, because there's that theory out there on the internet. But it's like, I don't think they're like they are not going to introduce the Living Tribunal, because that is a concept. Even as a comic book fan, I'm like, this is like, y'all really should have workshopped this, because this is like through the looking glass stuff.
Well, they're kind of like Zeus and them to Thor. They're these godlike beings that have omnipotence but can be defeated in some form or fashion.
And I feel like that's exactly why they're not going to be introduced in the 11th hour. Now, if they planted this seed like back in the very first Thor, absolutely, that's a possibility. They let that grow and germinate over 15 movies or whatever, and now we're going to get a payoff. I don't know. It's like I said earlier, it's like I'm willing to give you one Deus Ex Machina when it comes to Captain Marvel, because I know how big Captain Marvel is going to be going forward. But I'm not going to give you two, and that's what I'm talking about, Warlock, and that's somebody who is very important in the comic book version of the Infinity Wars /
he centers it. He centers everything.
Yeah. He's kind of a badass in that comic, but it's like, I would see the Watcher more likely than the Living Tribunal or whatever, but I don't see either one happening at this point, at least. Like maybe as a post-credit sequence is like kind of a kicker, to borrow a news term. You want a light story to make the people feel good after getting 29 minutes of, oh God, everything's terrible, everybody's dying. Like you want to send them home with a squirrel that can water ski or something. Like at the very end of Infinity Wars 2.
Squirrel Girl?
Hey, you know what? If they want to introduce Squirrel Girl, I'm all for that. I love me some Doreen Squirrel Girl rules. But like, if that's like the very last post credit sequence where it's Stan Lee as the Watch, you'd be like, well, let me tell you something here. And like maybe something like that could be cool. But it's like, I don't want them to introduce that stuff at this point, if I'm being completely honest.
I just feel like, and I second you. I'm not ready for the Living Tribunal to be in this universe. Let that be a Phase 17 or something.
Yeah, but, like that might be one of those things like, okay, we've done this for 3 decades. We feel confident we can finally pull this off.
We can do anything now. But I do feel like there needs
to be fair. I mean, in the second Guardians movie, they kind of pulled off Ego, and that ding dong is a literal planet.
Yeah, he's super powerful, but it took a child of his to defeat him, which made sense.
Yeah,
which I liked the
really messed up.
I had to kill my father too.
So funny. Which, I mean, a father's worse than a sister.
And I still have my eye. So
yeah, and I came out with both my eyes. So
guys, what I'm wondering right now is if our audience still has both their ears, because they've been listening to us go on about Infinity War forever. But we're not done yet. That's right, folks. There is one more episode of the Nerd News Cafe Avenger Infinity War review. I know you can't believe it. I can't believe it either. We're going to take a break right here, give you a chance to take a little bio break, get a drink, get some snacks, come back in just a few minutes, and we're going to wrap this up with part 3, the final part. I promise. You can take my word for it. See you soon.